Good everyone, Today's video, and today we have a review on the brand new SDKFZ 234-1, which me and Hairy Feet have already christened the Bunny Wagon. Now, why do we call it the Bunny Wagon? Well, we have the Bunny Tank, which is this one, the SDKFZ 140, and the reason why we call it the Bunny is because of the turret. Obviously, these anti-grenade meshes, which unfortunately you can't actually put them down, so it gives the vehicle a bit of a higher profile. Which this thing's already got quite a high profile for what it is. So yeah, but the Bunny Wagon, aka the SDKFC 234-1, is one of the newest vehicles as a result of the Space Race event. And whilst I'm at it, I might as well do a bit of blabbering about what I thought of the event. At first, I thought, well, I'm never going to get this Puma. This event seems like a ball ache. To be honest, I actually got quite a bit of stuff done. I actually managed to get, I think, nearly five aircraft spaded during the event. Obviously, grinded the Puma because I only wanted the Puma. I didn't want the boat for obvious reasons. Didn't want the 279 because, as cool as it is, it's just not really my sort of cup of tea. And the Corsair it doesn't really seem my sort of bird. Yes, it's got a shit ton of bombs, but at the same time, it flies like crap. So I figured I'd go with the last of the Pumas, which will ever have added to the game. Obviously, this variant, obviously, and well, I don't know the Pakwagen, which, as one was saying, that son of a gun keeps rubbing it in my face. Same with the DB7 and the Boston, but I'll get those someday. And well, here we are with a review of this one. So obviously the turret is the same as the SDKFC 140, and well, the chassis doesn't change. The chassis is exactly the same as what we're used to in normal Puma. It's only the turret that changes, and the turret is Now it has the same problems as the SDKFZ 140-1, and that fact is the turret has a bit of a lack of gun depression, to put it simply. It also has a lack of turret traverse, with only a top turret traverse speed of 15 degrees a second on an ace crew. As you can tell, my crew is not aced, but I still get 14.1 degrees a second. And with that, sometimes when you're going just a little bit too fast, your turret won't actually be able to traverse faster than you can on this vehicle. The turning the wheels is actually quite effective on this vehicle due to having 8-wheel steering. Obviously, 4 turn the way that you're going and 4 turn the opposite way. Obviously, I'm not going to cover the chassis because there's really no point. If you want me to cover this, like if you want to see a proper chassis overview, go look at my STKFC 234-3 review. I pretty much cover it there. But obviously, transmission 56 miles an hour forwards, 56 miles an hour backwards. It's funny because sometimes I can't even be bothered to turn this thing around on most maps because of how fast it is both forward and backwards. So I just slam it in reverse and just off I go. Hairy Feet likes it, but sometimes it's not the best idea to do that. Because, well, your frontal armor doesn't change from the other Pumas, and obviously your rear armor is complete crap, so it's not the smartest of decisions to drive backwards everywhere, but you never know, you might get away with it. Obviously, the gun is the same as the Panzer II, so HVAP is the king, and you also get access to one of my favourite machine guns in the game, the MG42, which has an insane rate of fire. And well, don't worry, I'll be playing this thing a little bit more because well, I've got the marker distinction to do it on it. I just wanted to get my impressions out on the vehicle. So obviously, turret armor exactly the same as the body wagon, and it does have a couple of flaws. So if a plane is approaching you from, let's say, this angle, obviously your gun can elevate to 70 degrees, which is quite incredible for this little scout car. And this vehicle gets scouting, one of a point to note. I don't know why, because rank 1 vehicles shouldn't get scouting. I personally think this is a error on Gaijin's part, but you never know. They might be trialing vehicles with rank 1 scouting, hopefully. And the fact is that this gun shield doesn't actually come up with a vehicle, or with the actual gun. The only thing that comes up is this 8mm of steel here, which is cast. This means that if a plane is attacking from here, your crew are very exposed to fire. And obviously, you only have 4 in this thing. 1 driver, a gunner, a commander/loader, and a machine gunner who technically should be able to drive the vehicle backwards. That's how it was in real life. And that's really it in terms of flaws. Obviously, the armor isn't going to save you. To be honest, low tier isn't about armor anyway. It's mostly about mobility and positioning. And obviously, the rate of fire on this gun is incredible. You only have 250 rounds in total for the 20mm, so you've got to watch your magazines personally. And there is still the magazine bug from what Hairy Feet's been telling me, where basically your magazine is reduced to 1, I think it is. He'll explain it in the comments if you're not entirely well, if you don't, well, if you don't like. I think he knows it better than me because I've never really had the problem, but he knows it better than me, so even so. But anyway, less about me blabbering and let's get over the vehicle. I'm not going to actually show the stat card for what I've done in this vehicle because obviously there's no point. I will be playing this thing a lot more because, well, market distinction for the win. I have got all the skins on it, so there's that. And I was actually in this battle with Mr. Hairy Feet. He wanted to tag along and try out his new bunny wagon. And on Poland, on a conquest map like this, you can actually do something really clever. And it's a bit dirty, I will admit. It is a bit dirty. And I felt bad. But you're going to see what we do. So there's Harry. Obviously, I said to him, right, follow me. We're gonna get on the road, and we're gonna basically flank the entire team. And this is on the day where the Puma was being spammed all to hell. We had one situation where the entire team was body wagons. It was incredible and very funny to actually see through and everything. So this is a 2.0 game, I think, or it's 2.3. Sorry. And obviously me and Harry are going to be wanting to do flank and spank and everything. I did a nice little power slide there. This vehicle is very nice for drifting. I do have to... Oh, I say drifting, it's more power sliding. You could say it was drifting, but I deem it to be more power sliding. Because you can hold the drift. Even if you're going backwards, you can hold the drift quite well. And even though I'm not driving fully on the road, you can just see the insane mobility on this thing. I'm not even driving on the road properly with all 4 wheels to obviously minimize the amount of traverse with mud and everything. And obviously the grass on the left, which actually slows wheeled vehicles down quite a bit. And you can just see, it's just driving at such a high speed for what this thing is, and what the BR is as well. You gotta remember, this sort of BR, you're topping at about 30, and then here we are, zooming through there at 44, and even on bad terrain like this, we're still touching 30. Not many vehicles will be able to do this. Obviously the modern MBTs might, and some of the earlier vehicles might. But you can just see how incredibly quick you can get to a new position in this vehicle. So I was actually debating dropping some artillery then, but then I thought, no, there's not really much point in that regard. I just figured it would be better if I just get to a better position and then drop the artillery. It would just be better for us overall. So obviously me and Harry, we were on comms, and we were doing pretty well in this thing. I mean, obviously you got to remember, Harry's not as an experienced tanker as me, but he's still saved my ass more than a couple of times in this little thing. But you can just see in 3 minutes we flanked the entire enemy team. We probably could have done it faster with a bit of better driving and stuff, but we've pretty much flanked the entire enemy team. Now it doesn't show up in the replay, so I don't know if they've actually patched it. But this vehicle does get scouting, as far as I know. I think they might patch it though. So take it with a grain of salt. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't driven the vehicle since they did a server update the other day. So you just got to bear in mind, like, I may be wrong, is all I'll say. And well, my aim was a bit poor there. Just saying. Obviously, I do actually not recommend carrying what I currently have equipped on this vehicle. And that's full HVAP. I would actually say the better choice of ammunition is 20 clips of HVAP and 5 of APIT. And the the reason why I say this is because the vehicle, obviously, the HVAP drops off massively over range compared to the APIT. Obviously, the APIT lacks in overall capability anyway, but it's just better if you actually have the backup rounds, so that way you can do at least something to a lighter vehicle at longer ranges. I think I suggested this in my Panzer IIc review, the Dark, the Desert Africa Corps one, which was the premium Panzer II. And at this point, I think that T-28 is the guy I killed in that milk truck. And well, this is just horrible. Complete decimation on that poor ZIS-30. So I said to Harry, yep, he's on this flank, I'm going to try and deal with him as best I can. Now it does show my gun only firing once. I fired a full 10 rounds, just bear in mind. The replay system's been a bit weird recently. You just noticed then, he actually fired his machine gun and penetrated and actually damaged the gun breech very slightly. That's just the lack of armor on the turret, because there is actually gaps where you can exploit a gap in it. And obviously at this point, we're being artillery, we've got planes coming in, and well, we kind of need to deal with them. So this is where this vehicle, like the bunny tank, comes in handy, because you can double as an AA piece. AA kill number 1. As well, I get another, but sadly I trade. As I said about the turret front, the turret front doesn't actually come up with the gun, so you basically have no protection from the vehicle an aircraft, if it comes up at the right angle. And that's really the best way you can deal with this vehicle, is attack it from above. Never attack it from the side, because it will easily just elevate its gun and shoot you in the face, so just take that into account. Obviously I'm saying to Harry, do not back up, because, well, there's a lot of vehicles over here, but I'm actually handling them rather well. Well, quite a few, I know Sanguinius, one of Tom the Tank's mates, and Daytoris' mates, he didn't actually go for this vehicle, and mate, you're missing out. This thing is a lot of fun. There's the ace on tank forces. And you can just see, this thing is devastatingly fun. You're rushing around, just going pew 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 pew, and you're killing stuff. What more is not to like about this thing? And I don't understand why Sanguinius didn't actually go for this vehicle, because, well, it's fun. This thing is fun. And, well, the MG42 is very handy for dealing with little trucks like that. There's kill number 7, which, I mean, it's not really a tank kill, but it counts as one, so I'm not going to complain. And, well, there's a Chinese T-26 who... I don't know what he was doing. I mean, he took a while to fire on that Puma, but obviously he didn't know I was there. Came around the corner, shot him in the face, and then backed up at 20 miles an hour. There's not many vehicles at this BR that can actually do that, so... And well, unfortunately, that teammate in front of me, he is going to get killed, if I remember rightly. Because obviously we can't actually penetrate an R35 at this range. And me and Harry was actually getting ranged in by that AMD 35, who's just taken out my gunner and my loader. Now, remember that truck that I killed a moment ago? He's actually coming back in a plane, an I-15R. He's not happy. Let's just say he isn't happy with me. And you're going to see just exactly how annoyed he was, because, well, he came straight for me and Harry. He was annoyed, to say the least. I mean, I would be if I just devastated half your team, and well, here comes the trade. Obviously, the turret front is not coming up, bear in mind. I kill him, but he kills me. Other than that flaw, and obviously the lack of gun depression, that's really all I have to say that's bad about this vehicle. Obviously, I don't know the current price of the vehicle on the marketplace. I think it is about 9 Gaijin, from what I've heard, 9 Gaijin coins, from what I've been hearing. Obviously, the price will go up as stock decreases, so I recommend getting it early. But if you can get this vehicle, get it. This thing is a lot of fun. And, well, Sanguinius, obviously, you may not watch this one, mate, but you're missing out. This thing is a lot of fun. And if you haven't, obviously, grinded out the vehicle in the event space race, get it with Gaijin. You are not going to regret it. But anyway, I'll see you all on the next one.